What's up everybody, it's CJ and I'm back with another furnishing video. So I think it's official to say y'all that I am like literally in my furnishing era. I mean, I feel like I've kind of been in my furnishing era for the past like year, if not 2 years, but I think it's like official. We can definitely say that. I feel like all I really do now is just furnish houses and I'm not complaining about it. And I know y'all are not complaining because y'all really like these videos anyway. I just feel like I'm really in my furnishing era. But the house that we're furnishing today is 130 Redwood Pkwy. Now, this was a house that was made by Cjplays. So when I woke up this morning, I got a DM from Concat and she asked me if I would like to furnish a house for her, because if you didn't know, Concat is working on a save file. She is renovating Sunset Valley. She's been working on it for a really long time. She built a house that was right beside where Agnes Crumplebottom stays, and it's literally like a Cape Cod nautical house. That's why she wanted me to furnish it. She was like, CJ, I know that you like this aesthetic anyway, so like, do you want to furnish this house? So of course I had to say yes, because like, come on now. One, I love the furnish, but two, I get the opportunity to do like a Cape Cod nautical home. Okay, so like, listen, I know I always say that this is like all that I want to furnish and build nowadays, but listen, at least this time it's not like I went out of my way to do it. Okay, this house was already in the style and aesthetic, and I was asked because it is in that style, so can't really blame me this time, right? So this house is a little bit more on the bigger side. It's not like a big gigantic house, but it's a 2-story house. It has, I believe, 3 bedrooms and there's 3 bathrooms. 2 of them are like half bathrooms and there's one upstairs that's a full bathroom. And Concat told me she is not going to be using any store content or any stuff packs for this build, and of course no custom content. So I was only able to use expansion pack stuff and stuff from the base game. I hope I didn't use anything that was from a stuff pack. I'm gonna have to go back over this house before I put it up for download just to make sure, because knowing me, like, I know I caught myself a couple of times. I was using like stuff pack plants and I caught myself a couple times, especially like in one of the bathrooms. I ended up using like one of the robes that is from Town Life stuff, and I was like, no, CJ, I had to basically delete it. So I need to like look back over everything to make sure that like I didn't use something that I'm not supposed to, you know? But overall, I really like this house, y'all. So I kind of went with something that I always do. So not only is this like a nautical Cape Cod house, it's also like an older, kind of outdated house. Because like, listen, when I see it from the outside, I just kind of get like older vibes from it, you know? Maybe like 70s, 80s, maybe even earlier than that. Like, I feel like a lot of the furnishings and the plumbing is just not that new. It's like original for the most part. So that's kind of what I went with. Like, I know the fridge that we have in this house is kind of like newer, but I feel like maybe the fridge and the stove are kind of like new, but like the cabinets are old. I don't really think I've ever really used this pattern before, or this tile, so I knew I had to use it today. As you can see, I kind of go for like an L-shaped kitchen this time around. I also wanted to use a lot of these base game lights. I use a couple different lights actually in this house. We have these from the base game. These are more like the craftsman style ones. I use that really big circular light that comes with the pets pack. I also use one of the lights that come from Ambitions, I believe. So there's a lot of different lights in this house. And since I really couldn't use store content, you know, or stuff from stuff packs, I kind of just had to use a lot of the like nautical objects from some of the other packs. So for example, we have this picture right here. This one comes from Island Paradise, so I knew I wanted to use that in here. I also use that little sailboat object that comes with Generations. I use the life preserves that come from the base game. So at least there are some things in the game that are not like store content or stuff pack wise, you know. So I was able to kind of use like a couple different objects in here. I also realized that this house has a lot of different like little nooks and crannies. So I was trying to like fill up most of the space. So I like to call it filler furniture. So you'll see that in some of the spots of the house, I have a random chair or a random end table or like a random mirror, you know. Like, I just feel like these are just objects that I use just to kind of fill in space, if that makes sense. So now we kind of move on down the hallway and we are in the first bedroom. So I didn't really have like a storyline for this house. Y'all know sometimes I do storylines for my households, and you know, I have like a little like idea for a sim that lives here. I didn't really have that this time. Like, I think it's a family of maybe like 5. So it's a mom and dad, they have twin boys, and then there's like a grandma or like an aunt or uncle or someone that stays, you know, downstairs. So this right here is the first bedroom, and it's also the guest bedroom. I feel like it's a little bit generic. I didn't really have like an ideal sim in mind for this one, so I kind of made it, I guess, like a little bit on a generic side. So there's like a greenish kind of like light brown color scheme. I'm using the bed that comes with the seasons pack. We have some base game end tables. The dresser that I used, I believe, is also base game. It's one of the ones that have like the floral print on it, and I never use it, so I kind of wanted to use it today. I'm also using the like I guess, craftsman styled mirror in here. We have a plant from the pets pack. And then this bedroom also has an ensuite bathroom. So like I said earlier, this house has like 2 half bathrooms and they're both downstairs. Half bathroom basically just means like it doesn't have like all the amenities of like a stereotypical bathroom. So like, for example, this one just has a toilet and a shower. It doesn't have a sink, right? So I know it's like a little bit on the bigger side, but trust me, I tried my best with move objects turned off, just to kind of like see if I could squeeze all 3. And like, even if I could technically put all 3 in here, it wouldn't really be functional. So I just opted for a shower and a toilet, because like if your sim needs to wash their hands, they can just go like to the kitchen, it's right there, or I guess go to like the bathroom upstairs if it's that serious, you know. Also, this is the moment when I realized that I was using stuff pack stuff, so I swapped out that robe for some of these towels from the base game. And then now we move on to the laundry room. So this house is kind of cool because it has a laundry room, and I used to do these a lot in my Sims builds, but doing laundry in the Sims is kind of annoying sometimes, especially in the Sims 3, because Sims will just like have the clothes piles and it'll just be everywhere. Like there's mods to kind of fix it, but by default it's just kind of annoying because you get clothes everywhere. I don't really like make laundry rooms in my builds anymore, but since this house already had one, I was like, might as well do it, because Concat told me that this house has some filler furniture already here, but she said I could delete it if I want to. Like basically I had pretty much full range to do whatever I want for this build. So if I did delete filler furniture, it was kind of like, you know, a pedestal sink for a countertop, or I got rid of the bed that was in there for a different bed. So I didn't really like change the floor plan really. I just, you know, changed the wallpaper, the floors a little bit. I added some furniture. It wasn't like a big change or anything like that. And all I really did too, like for the front yard, is I extended the driveway out on one side just so it could wrap around. But next up we move on to the living room, and y'all, this is gotta be like, I think my favorite room in the entire house. I just love the wallpaper. I know I've used this wallpaper before with a different build, but I really like the like tropical floral design on it, you know. And we are building this in Sunset Valley, so it's a tropical world anyway. Also, this house has a pretty good view of the lighthouse in Sunset Valley, so like, I don't know, I just like this room. I like how it has the big doors in the back that leads to the backyard. You can see the lighthouse, you know, so it's very much tropical vibes. So in here, I'm using some of those couches from the Ambitions pack. We have the end table from the Island Paradise pack as well. We have that little boat. We have a big bookshelf. We have some pictures of lighthouses up. I have that picture of a boat in here. There's another life preserve hanging up on the wall. The TV that I used is from the base game. The rug is also from base game. And I wanted to kind of have like a little dresser or something here by the archway, but I didn't want it to be too big. And the thing is, if I turn on move objects, I could have put it in the middle, but I didn't want Sims to not be able to get in here. So I'm using like a small dresser from the pets pack, and that way like Sims can still get around it and you still have something there. Like I said, yo, I used a lot of filler furniture this time around, but you know, it's okay because like it's realistic, right? Like I feel like this is a realistic room. I gotta say, Concat did a really good job with building this house. I don't think I've ever really built a house quite like this before, especially with the roof, like the A-framed roofing like that. If I have, it was years ago, but I gotta say, Concat, you did a really good job with this one. If y'all didn't know, Concat is a really good friend of mine. I will just say, please go subscribe to her channel, y'all. Please, please, please. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of y'all probably already are, but please, if you're not, go subscribe to her channel. She also streams on Twitch. I'll leave all of her information, like I said, linked down below. We do a lot of collabs. Like, we play like Roblox sometime. More recently, we did a collab the other day and we were playing The Forest. And if you don't know, it's kind of like, I think of it as like Minecraft, but like more emphasis on survival. But it was so fun. We were in a cave and we got lost in the cave, and it was one of those things where it's like I wanted to go one way and she wanted to go the other way, so we went my way and we got more lost, but when we went back and went her way, we actually got out of the cave, and it was just kind of funny. Like, it was hilarious. So yeah. And if you don't know too, y'all, I do have a second YouTube channel. I know I'm probably mentioning it a lot more nowadays, but I don't really mention it that often. But I have a second YouTube channel, and over there I post my Twitch streams. So if you ever like miss a stream or you want to go back and watch the old ones, all of them are on the VOD channel, which I'll leave a link down below. And that stream that I was telling you about with Concat, that's on that channel, and it was funny. So I suggest go watching it because I think it's hilarious. But now we move on to the upstairs. So for the upstairs, there's 2 bedrooms. This one to me would be more so for the parents, and the other one is for the twin boys, you know? Now, looking back, I didn't really realize that this bedroom was smaller than the other bedroom. On first glance, they look around the same size, but the one for the kids are a little bit bigger. And by the time I realized that, I was already done furnishing this bedroom, and I was like, listen, I'm not gonna go back and like take everything out and swap it around. So we'll just say that the parents, since they have twins, they gave their kids the bigger bedroom. bedroom. This one is kind of like a grayish kind of color scheme. There's like some wood tones in here as well. The bed is from the Island Paradise pack, and then we have like the Seasons dresser and stuff. And yeah, this is around the time when I realized that this bedroom was like bigger than the other one, so I ended up using 2 of those single beds from the Generations pack. I was going to use the castle ones at first, but then I was like, wait a minute, CJ, we actually have boat beds in the game, so I was like, let me use some of those. So I'm using those boat beds. I'm also using the matching dresser that goes with it. I also added some fish on the wall as well. I really tried to go all out with the nautical vibe in here. We have like an end table, there's a toy box, the little pirate chest toy box I put in here as well. I'm using the Into the Future rug, and I'm like making it look kind of nautical themed. Like, honestly, I gotta say, I love how this room turned out. It's like the blue, but it's more like a lighter, like washed out kind of blue, and I really like it. I think it looks kind of relaxing. And this is around the time when I was going through the catalog and I was just trying to find anything that was nautical. So as you can see, I switch around a lot in this room. I even ended up using these curtains. They're like the ones that come from Generations. I guess they're like the castle themed kids room curtains, but I used them in this room, y'all, and I think they look so cool. I did recolor them to make them a little bit lighter, but I think they look really good in here. Oh, and then finally I realized that we have the beanbag chairs, and there's also a swatch that has a shark on it, and I was like, how can I not use that? So I ended up using some of those. And then the last room that we furnish in this house is the upstairs bathroom. So for the bathroom upstairs, I kind of just went with a checkered print design. It's kind of similar to the other bathrooms, but since this one is a little bit bigger than, you know, the rest of them, I was able to put a shower tub combo. There's also a toilet, and we also have a sink in here as well. But that is like pretty much everything for the inside of the house. And then like when we get to the outside, all I really did was I just kind of like furnished the back. So like in the backyard, we have a couple of planter boxes, there's a gazebo. I did kind of fence in the back porch a little bit. I also did a little bit more landscaping. I just kind of used more or less the same plants that Concat did, but I did add another tree. It's like one of those little small palm trees that come with World Adventures, and that's pretty much it for the entire house. So like always, if you want to download this house, I am going to leave it linked down below. Again, thank you so much, Concat, for asking me to do this, because like I had a lot of fun. Like, I don't know if I said this earlier, but Concat says she's going to name this build after me as an Easter egg, so I don't even know what the name is going to be, but I honestly can't wait to see. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. Follow me over on Twitch while I stream a lot more of The Sims, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thanks for watching!